Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and of course welcome to Moscow. Now I'm right outside what used to be IKEA. Now I've not come to see that, I've come to see, can you buy an iPhone 15 in Russia in 2023, today? So I'm going to take you for a walk around the shopping center that's right behind me. Mega, we've been here before, maybe you've seen other videos. I'm going to go and have a walk inside and see if we can buy this phone. It's not a particularly nice day in Moscow today. It's been raining all day till about an hour ago, so you can see the dark and gloomy clouds. Now this particular shopping center, I've made videos before, and this was the car park where everyone would park to go to IKEA. And for the last couple of years, they've been building this humongous multi-level car park, which would have linked you to go right in to the IKEA right here. I'm sure most people recognize the colors of the building, and the only thing that's not there now is the sign for the store. Interestingly though, on the upper level, all the lights are on for the offices right there. That's kind of interesting, but everything else, it's lights off. And there's only the Russian flag flying now. There's no IKEA flag, and there's no Swedish flag either. Where we want to go is the entrance right over here. The reason I chose to come to this shopping center, it's really not very busy anymore, because most people did come for the IKEA right there. So it's a little bit easier to walk around and film. The staff in the shops are really nice and don't mind me walking in and putting the camera right there on the shelves. So the actual shopping center itself, Mega. Now what's very interesting, and a lot of people maybe misunderstand this, the actual shopping centers, that is this one right here, and the Mega brand of shopping centers are actually owned by the same company that own IKEA. So, you know, the fact that IKEA left obviously leaves them in a predicament, because they've still got these shopping centers. And they're huge shopping centers. Oh, it's nice and warm. They've got a heater right there as you walk in. So I'm going to just briefly walk around a little bit of this entrance area here, and then we're going to find these phones on the shelf, hopefully. Back when IKEA was open, you actually had a couple of different ways of coming inside the shopping center. So through the glass doors where I walked in just now, or there was a pass-through from IKEA right here. You can actually see the doors have been frosted over, and then all of these glass windows have been paneled over as well, and they would have had all the different IKEA products and all the promotions and specials, and get you excited about what you could buy in IKEA. And now this section is just very quiet and very empty. Now interestingly, in the last quite a few months, they've closed the stores that were right here at this entrance and exit. They really just don't get the foot traffic coming through this entrance, and people aren't parking at this end of the car park either. There was actually a pharmacy here in this spot, because I remember coming to this myself. And then this one on the corner here was a jeans store. And they've actually put a nice big map here to let you know how to get around the shopping center. So the blank spot over here was IKEA, and then we're actually going to head up to the electronics store right there. And then Zara is now Mag, and then Ashan over here is the very big hypermarket. It is huge. It actually looks quite small on the map, but it's a massive, massive place inside. This is actually a French hypermarket chain that's in Russia also. They're also the owners of Leroy Merlin, the hardware stores in Russia. And you can see where this big gap was here, where IKEA used to be. They've actually put up the lights now for Christmas and New Year, which is really nice. And then you can see off in the distance all the different stores all the way down. Now this is actually Friday evening in Moscow, and it's not particularly busy. If I compare it even to my local shopping center, there is far more people there. We're not coming here to walk around the shopping center. If anyone would like to see a different video where I do a walk around of this shopping center, it's really super interesting to see all the different brand changes. So all the stores that were one brand are now called something else. And what I want to actually point out here on the right hand side, we're just going to walk down to a few of the shops here on the left and right. Now this blue wooden slatting is the colors that was Levi, and it's now become a homeware store. It's not actually fully open yet, but it's got beds in there and mattresses and linen, and it's now going to eventually open as a homeware store. And then the other store here on the left hand side, called Kelebek, is actually a Turkish company, and this used to be Marks and Spencer, the British company. And of course, they're no longer in Russia. And this particular store right here is a furniture store which is mimicking IKEA. Now, it's really not exactly IKEA. It's a little bit fancier, but it's got that kind of IKEA feel to it when you walk in and walk around. There was such a big deal made of this when it first opened because it was the first one in Russia, and there's really nobody in there, maybe a couple of people at best. And then I'm not sure what this store was originally, but this is also a bedding store, and they're taking up all the spaces of the brands that left. Now we're actually in search of the Apple products, or the iPhone. Of course, Samsung is the phone that I use, and all the latest and greatest models are right there in the store. And there is actually a phone service provider right here, which we're going to come back to in a minute and have a look at, because all the different stores here actually have the iPhones available. Now, the biggest electronics store in Russia by a very long way is right here. It's called M-Video. I have actually done a couple of different videos where I've walked around stores similar to this one. Not actually made a video in this particular store. Now, it's a huge, huge electronics store, homeware store, white goods store. It's open every day, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now, they do actually have a sign here saying that they're an Apple dealer. Now, originally, if you go back last year when Apple was available in Russia, they did actually have the build-outs right here at the front of the store. Now, at the moment, you can see here there's a very big Samsung one. On the other side, there's Huawei, which is one of the other, I think they might be Chinese companies. I'm not very up on the different brands of phones. There's Xiaomi right there. And then, of course, they've got never-ending phone cases and all of the aftermarket accessories. And they've got a ton of other models of phones. You can see there's so many different choices of them. It's never-ending the amount of things you can choose from. Samsung have actually got a really big build-out. They pretty much got every model of phone available right there. And then the actual store is huge. By the way, it goes right down to the back. There's fridges, televisions, every home appliance you can dream of, and more. And there's a lot of the other branded smartphones, smartwatches, speakers over there in the back. Now, what I want to show, apart from having a look at all the computers here and laptops, there's a big computer section here as well, is this shelf right here. So what's happened is Apple doesn't have any build-outs in the store anymore. So they've just got one sign right here that says Apple, and they've got all of the Apple products. So all the things like the headphones and the covers and all the different original chargers and cables. And then these are all the different current models of phone. And they've kind of got an English and a Russian sign on the display here talking about the different models of phones. So there's iPhone 14, 14 Pro, and right there, iPhone 15, 128 megabyte pink. And then we come over here, there is the iPhone 15 Pro natural titanium, and that's 180,000 rubles, so 1,800 US dollars. If we take roughly the current exchange rate of about 100 rubles to $1, that gives you the price right there. It's a little bit hard to see the actual prices. These were the actual signs that would have been on the full Apple display when it was here, but they've now got them just propped up. The other thing too, interestingly, they don't have the phones actually on display, and they don't have them out of the boxes. So these are all sealed boxes as you see them. iPhone 15 Pro Max, 512 GB, blue titanium, so 225,000 rubles. So again, if you just convert it to 100 to 1, $2,450. Now, I don't want to really make this about the prices of the phones. I want to essentially prove that I can walk into the shop and buy an Apple iPhone 15 today here in Moscow. And then of course the different Samsung products. So S23 Ultra is the latest and greatest model. And then the new smartwatches right there as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to walk on out and check out the other stores and see what they have. Depending on where you live in the world, the iPhone 15 was released on September 22. So it's been 41 days till exactly now when I'm recording this video from when it was worldwide released and available. You could pre-order them a little bit earlier than that, but 41 days ago it was worldwide available for purchase, and then basically everywhere but Russia. And then roughly 2 weeks later, you were able to do pre-orders. Actually from NVIDIA right there, you could pre-purchase the phone and then wait for it to come in. And they'd notify you once the actual phones arrived in Russia for you to come in and pay for it and walk out with it. So they were advertising it literally the day that the Apple had the live TV show that everybody watched around the world, and you could pre-order them exactly the same time. But it just took a couple of weeks longer than when it was released to be able to buy it. But the point is, today is 41 days since the iPhone 15 was available around the whole world, and I can walk into a store in Russia today. I'm in Moscow right here. Of course, any city in Russia, you could go to the same brand of store and buy that phone today. Just thought I'd show you one of the shoe stores here now. This corner shop here was actually Adidas, and they're still waiting to announce what they're going to do with the Adidas stores. They actually had 3 Adidas stores in this shopping center. There's one right here, and there's a smaller one down there. And then behind me, further away, there's a kids version. But it looks like D-Mix is going to be coming to this spot right here. And this is actually a brand of clothing from another chain of sports stores in Russia. So they managed to grab themselves a good prime corner spot. And then Reebok is now a sneaker box right across the way there. And then further on down, the Nike store is no longer. It's now called Jeans Symphony. But you can get Nike in other stores still. So this end of the shopping center is where all the different electronics shops are. There's around about 200 shops in this shopping center. If you were to walk around the whole place, again, I can make a new video at some point if enough people mention it in the comments. And the one thing a lot of the shopping centers do in Russia, they've got a lot of the brand-specific stores. This one is Haya. Now, I'm not really too sure about the brand. If anyone's got any of their products, let me know. And there's one here that's a pop-up store for Xiaomi. And I'm not sure if I showed this in another video, but there was at some point a Dyson stand, and now it's called Remez. And they've got pretty much exactly all the things that you're used to. It's called Remez. And then there's a Sony store. It looks like Huawei is opening a shop here at some point as well. And This is probably the main store in Russia that a lot of people know to buy Apple products. Now, there isn't actually Apple stores in Russia. There never has been. And they've always had resellers or premium resellers, authorized resellers. And the Restore is a chain of stores that's all throughout Russia. And you're able to walk in and buy Apple products. Very similar feeling in the store as well. Probably not as busy and as popular as what an Apple store would be, but they have them right here. And we're gonna walk in there. There's a few people looking at the phones right at the front, so I don't really wanna cramp them while they're looking. What we might do is we might wander down to the other store here, Megaphone, which is one of the phone providers, and we'll have a look in their store, and we'll come back and look at the Restore in a minute. In Russia, there's quite a few different phone service providers. Megaphone is one of them. The actual brand that I've got is called MTS, so I don't actually have this brand. I've had a SIM card from them quite a lot of years ago, and I swapped providers, and I have now the Red Egg is the name. And this is a store where you obviously buy SIM cards for your phone. You can get plans and packages, and these gentlemen would actually sign you up to whatever agreements you want to do. And they also sell all sorts of different aftermarket accessories and smartwatches and gadgets. And they've also got all the different accessories for your phone, things like the covers and the protective screens. And they also have a selection of phones as well. And what we're looking for is the Apple phones. Now again, they don't really have them laid out where you can see them quite clearly. So you can see some of the other brands here, Honor, and this is Realme, and then Samsung Galaxy right here. And that watch, anyone wants to buy me a birthday gift, you know what I want to get right there. If anyone knows when my birthday is, and that would even be more of a surprise now. Let's have a look here. I can see some of the iPhones as well. And again, they don't have them on display, so they've just got the boxes right here. And the one that I want to point out, there's actually two models right here. The iPhone 15 Pro Max, 512 GB. So this one's 230,000 rubles. Then iPhone 15 Pro, 256. This one's 180,000 rubles. And they've got two models. They've also got all the different iPhone 13 and 14 models as well. But I can definitely walk in here and grab an iPhone 15 in Russia today. As I walk out of the Megaphone shop, the two guys in here were so helpful, and they actually spoke really good English as well. So if you're ever in Megatropolistan and you need a phone, go and see these guys. They can help you about anything you need to know. The two main questions I did have, and I got exactly the answers that I wanted, was the first one was about the warranty of the phone. Now, what's the warranty? Is it covered by Apple? Now, basically, the different stores here have a slightly different answer to the same question, but the actual stores themselves cover the warranty of the phone for 1 year. It's not covered by Apple because the product isn't officially in Russia as an Apple product. So if anything was to happen to the phone in the first 12 months, you can return it to the store, get a return or exchange or refund or whatever you'd need to do for the first 12 months of ownership of the phone. So that's nice of the shops to do that and not just leave you with a phone with no coverage. The second question I had was, where are the phones coming from? And interestingly, each shop also gave a slightly different answer and a little bit kind of going around in a circle of which countries they wanted to tell me. And the two main ones that I got was India and Vietnam. So the phones that they're selling in the store here are from India or Vietnam. How they got to Russia is the bit that the staff don't really know the answer to. Of course, they're salespeople, they're here to sell the phones. They're not on the ship or in the cargo division and how they got here, but they're here and they're Vietnamese iPhones or Indian iPhones. Looks like the people that were at the front displays of the shop here have actually moved on to the register, so maybe they're ready to buy one of the phones, so it's a little bit easier to walk in and see the phones in person. Well, I think I was going to see them. They've got the iPhone 15 Pro sign right there, but the phones right in front of me are the iPhone 14s. Let's have a look around. We've also got iPhone 13 and then iPhone SE. And they've actually got the sign right there for the 15 Pro Titanium, but they don't have them on display, which is interesting. They've got all of the other Apple products, so the iPads, not sure what they call the laptops. I have Samsung and Dell products, so I'm an Android and Windows user, but you can certainly walk in here and buy yourself the phone if you want to. I imagine you've got to do some sort of a wink or a handshake or a nod to let them know which model of phone that you want, because there's no pricing of the phones as well. But there's definitely a poster right there, and I'm fairly sure when I walked past earlier, the ladies that were looking, perhaps they're buying a phone now. So I didn't have a plan to make this a long video. Most people who watch the channel know that most of my videos are about 20, 30, or even 40 minutes long. So I think just me walking around this little section of the shopping center and showing a few different stores. But I've answered the question, can I buy an iPhone 15 in Russia today? 41 days after the worldwide release. And the answer is yes. All three different shops that we saw have them. Now, the actual restore didn't have them on display, but they do have them out the back. So you can get one. You just need to know what their secret handshake is. I'm sure you just ask them when they take you to the counter and you pay and take one out the store. But we've definitely seen them on the shelf. And we've definitely seen the phones. So I hope it was informational what I'm letting you know. And I'm gonna have a bit of a walk around and go get something to eat. And I hope you found this video interesting. So as easy as it was walking in from the exit or entrance to the shopping center, literally, you just turn right just here, go right to the counter, and you can see the iPhone 15 right there. So you just literally let them know you want one, and they've got them out the back. These are actually just display boxes, and the staff would be able to sell you a phone today and walk out with one. So as I make my way out of the shopping center, I actually did come here to this shopping center only to come and look for the iPhone 15. Now, I could have come to a lot of different shopping centers in Moscow. I just preferred to come here because I know it's a little bit quieter. It's a little bit easier to film the video too. I don't always want to get people crowding around and, people in the background and foreground of the video. So yes, you can buy an iPhone 15 Pro Max Titanium, every SberBank feature today here in Moscow, or anywhere in Russia for that fact. You could actually order online from all of these stores and have it delivered to you if you want to. I think generally most people want to come and pick it up and hold it and walk out the store with it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Post a comment. Have you got an iPhone? Are you an iPhone user? Of course, I've got a Samsung, so I'm not an iPhone user. But it's such a trending topic or discussion, especially with all of the sanctions that have been imposed on Russia and all the difficulties of getting things to Russia for sale in Russia. So yes, you can buy them simply. Post a comment, let me know what you think. It's a little bit different to the full shopping center videos that I do. As I head out the door, I need to put my beanie back on in a second. Not sure if it's got a little bit colder. It's definitely got a little bit darker since I've been here. Now that winter's upon us, it gets darker much earlier in Russia. Even 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it's dark here. So I think I might even not be in the light. If you want to follow me on Telegram, I post a lot of stuff daily there. If you even want to chat to me on Telegram, I'm right there. There's a link to click. And if you want to see an older video on the channel, there's one showing up right now you can check that out. Perhaps something you've not seen on the channel before. And in the dark, is my bus coming? I'm not too sure. Let's hope it is, because it's right in front of me, the bus stop. I'll see you in another video. Bye, everybody.